Fairview was the kind of town where nothing ever really happened, at least, nothing that made the front page. But on June 14th, 2018, that changed. That evening, the Harrow name was everywhere. The family owned half the town's property, strip malls, apartment complexes, even the old courthouse. At the center of it all was Daniel Harrow, 29 years old, handsome, reckless, and heir to the Harrow fortune. That night, Daniel was at the Rusted Crown, a bar he frequented with old college friends. He bought everyone rounds of whiskey, told stories too loud for the small space, and promised to change Fairview forever once he took over the business. At 12:41 a.m., Daniel left the bar alone. Cameras caught him stepping onto Main Street, fumbling with his car keys. He was smiling, half-drunk. That was the last time anyone saw him alive. By dawn, his BMW sat abandoned 3 blocks away, driver's door open, keys still in the ignition. No Daniel. Detective Rosa Kincaid was called in by sunrise. She was a sharp-eyed, no-nonsense woman who had grown up in Fairview but moved away to join the state police before returning to care for her ailing mother. Cases like this, missing heir, wealthy family, media frenzy, were rare for her. At first glance, Rosa suspected Daniel might have staged his own disappearance. After all, the Harrows were notorious for their iron grip on their children's lives. But as she interviewed witnesses, a darker picture emerged. Daniel had enemies everywhere. Employees resented him for flaunting wealth while cutting jobs. His business partner, Elliot Monroe, had reasons to fear him. His fiancée, Clara Bell, seemed distant in interviews, her eyes never quite matching her words. It wasn't just a disappearance, it smelled like a setup. The Harrow family estate was a sprawling mansion on the edge of town. Inside, Rosa met Richard Harrow, Daniel's father. He was cold, commanding, and furious with the investigation. "You'll find him," Richard barked. "And when you do, you'll drag back every lowlife responsible. My son isn't just anyone, he's a Harrow." But Rosa noticed cracks in the facade. Richard seemed less worried about Daniel's safety and more about the family's reputation. Meanwhile, whispers surfaced about Daniel himself: drugs, gambling debts, even a violent altercation with a bartender last month. The so-called Golden Boy had shadows of his own. 2 weeks later, a breakthrough came in the form of a rail yard discovery. A maintenance worker stumbled across a wristwatch among the gravel and rust. It was Daniel's, engraved with his initials. There was blood on the band. Nearby, Rosa found fresh tire tracks. Security footage from a corner store revealed a black SUV circling the area that same night. The SUV belonged to Elliot Monroe, Daniel's business partner. When Rosa brought Elliot in, he broke. But not the way she expected. In the interrogation room, Elliot trembled. "Yes, I met him that night," he admitted. "He found out I'd been moving money. He threatened to expose me unless I cut him in. We argued. I shoved him. He hit his head. I thought he was dead." But then Elliot described something Rosa didn't see coming. "I wasn't the only one there. Another car pulled up. Clara got out. She wasn't surprised to see him like that. She told me to leave, said she'd handle it. I drove away. I swear, I didn't kill him." Clara Bell was beautiful, poised, and always appeared as the perfect fiancée in photos. But Rosa noticed how Clara never cried during interviews. Her voice stayed flat, rehearsed. When confronted with Elliot's story, Clara cracked. "Yes, I was there," she confessed. But Elliot lied. "Daniel wasn't dead when I arrived. He was conscious, begging me not to tell his father about Elliot's scheme." Her tone hardened. "You don't understand. Being with Daniel was a cage. Everything about our lives was controlled. What we wore, where we lived, who we spoke to. I couldn't breathe anymore." Clara admitted she strangled Daniel in her car, panicking when he threatened to expose both Elliot and her affair with Daniel's cousin. She buried him outside town in a shallow grave near the old highway. Rosa led the search team to the site Clara described. After hours of digging, they uncovered the remains. Daniel's body was wrapped in a designer jacket, his once perfect smile now reduced to bone. Forensic evidence matched Clara's confession. She was charged with first-degree murder. Elliot, though spared a murder charge, was convicted of embezzlement and accessory to a crime, earning a decade in prison. The Harrow empire collapsed under scandal. Properties were sold off, investors fled, and the family name became a curse in Fairview. Richard Harrow never spoke Daniel's name again. Detective Rosa Kincaid closed the case, but carried the weight of it. To the public, it was another cautionary tale of greed, betrayal, and the illusion of power. But to Rosa, it was a reminder. Sometimes the people we believe are trapped are the ones holding the keys to the cage. Daniel Harrow had dreamed of changing Fairview. He did, just not the way he planned.